Welcome to the Heal Yourself podcast, where we dive deep into all things healing. I'm Denise, a speech language pathologist and a self-love coach for adults and teens.
And I'm Kira, a traditional naturopath and functional nutritionist, and we're here to guide you through the transformative process of healing your body, mind, and soul.
From the latest in functional medicine to nurturing your relationship with yourself, healing trauma, and even transforming your money story, we're here to empower you with the knowledge and tools to create lasting change.
So whether you're looking to heal physically, emotionally, or spiritually, join us as we explore the many paths to wholeness and wellness. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Heal Yourself podcast. Today, Denise and I are talking about how to stop thinking.
Which I know, and she told me about this topic. I'm like, it's hard. Okay, bye, we're done.
Yeah, that's it. Episode over.
And let us know if you're liking the video situation, because we're doing videos, so now we're posting them on YouTube.
I know, isn't this fancy? We'll
So
figure
fancy.
it out.
And I'm not here at the beach, so don't be jealous.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I mean, so this is a funny topic because honestly, the first time I heard it from one of my spiritual mentors, I'm like, what do you mean to stop thinking? Like, we're supposed to be thinking all the time. Like I was always taught, like, keep thinking, keep questioning. And I'm not saying we don't want to think, we don't want to question, but I feel like we are thinking too much, right? Like we try to think our way out of everything. Like, oh, I've got this symptom. What are the things I can do? Oh, let me think about this. Okay, maybe there's another protocol, there's another supplement, or oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna Google it. Or you like to journal. I'm feeling stuck. I'm just gonna keep journaling and journaling and journaling. It's still all thinking. And sometimes the peace, the inner peace that we're always after, and the answers come through fewer thoughts and silence and just feeling. And I'm just going to share this because one of the things that you sent it to me a while back, but Wayne Dyer has a meditation and it's called The Gap or something like that, and it's everything lies in the space between those thoughts or in the gap.
Yeah, I love that meditation. I think it's called Japa or something, getting
Yes,
in the
you're
gap. I
right.
think
You're right.
his book is getting in the gap, but it's a Japa meditation. And I feel like I'm sure he talks about like who taught him that because he wasn't the one who created it, obviously. It's like an ancient type of meditation. But I love how he does it very simply. So it's really cool. Like if you ever want to try it, it is on YouTube. Just look up Wayne Dyer Japa meditation. And he goes through the Our Father one.
Yeah.
The first 10 words of the Our Father. Just also as a reminder, as humans, we have at least 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. That's basically one thought per second. And if you're literally going to entertain every single one of them, that's why we are so occupied and in our mind. That's why sometimes, like, don't you feel sometimes you see people like you're too much in your head because they're too much into these thoughts. And then not all the thought, like some thoughts are ours, some thoughts don't. And also another thing, because we talk about spiritually, we are a collective, right? So sometimes not every thought is yours, and not every thought is true, and
Most aren't.
Most aren't. Most of our thoughts are negatively biased based on our conditioning. So what I have, and I mean, Eckhart Tolle talks about it, is getting into the present moment. So what I have been doing, because remember in the past, like we would listen to these things, and some people would say, observe them like clouds or whatever. But that's truly the work that you need to do, right? So you have 60, 70,000 thoughts. You can't really control all of them. You can't even. So it's kind of like, like you truly want to view them. Okay, so I mean, this thought came in. Wait a minute, that's negative bias, or that's where did that come from? Kind of like talk to yourself through it, and then just observe it going like a cloud. Because what happens, I feel, with most people, Kira, and correct me if I'm wrong, what we do is we take this thought. And it's like, ooh, it triggers the ego, and it's like, and I keep going down with it. And this thought triggers another, and then you're triggering emotions, and then those emotions triggering actions. And now we're all like, having anxiety and stuff like that. So what I have been doing is, getting into the breath is really important, but just kind of not even questioning the thought, just immediately like, wait, you're a cloud, just go. I don't have to entertain you. Let's keep going, and let's think of the present moment. I know it's not easy. I get it. But everything we tell you, it requires you putting in the effort and putting in the work.
Well, and I view thoughts as twofold too. There's thoughts, like you said, of like the ones that go through our mind constantly, right? Like there's that mental chatter. And there's also you wanting to make a decision or do something and you have to think through it. There's a time and a place, but think about this, right? What's the irony of that? Um, ponder this, chew on this, whatever we want to say right now. But just imagine that you're in a room and it's chaotic and there's like hundreds of people in there and it's just noise everywhere. How are you going to think through what you want to do next with all of that noise? Like it's hard. It's the same thing when you're always in your mind and you have all of these thoughts going back and forth and you're like, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I write out a list of notes to figure out? We can't even trust our intuition. And this is one of the things that I tell my clients when it comes to healing, think less. Like truly, you cannot feel into your body and tap into the intuition and hear what your body is asking for. If you're like, well, I don't know what to do next. What do you think I should do? No, 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 no. What does your body feel?
And or also the heart,
Mm,
right? So I feel because the mind is the analytical brain will find, I mean, we are very smart, right? And our analytical brain will definitely find the excuses and the reasons why we're thinking this thought, oh, no, 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 it's true, this, whatever. But when you go truly into your heart, into your body, and I feel that I'm so glad you mentioned that, because our body is more like the messages we get from the body and the messages we get from the heart are way more important than the messages we get from here, right? So yes, of course, if you have a decision, but even sometimes, like even if you have a decisions to think through, sometimes just stepping away from the analytical
mm,
thinking and then taking 10 minutes of getting in the gap or taking 10 minutes of just breathing and being in silence might bring you some clarity. Or but I mean, truly, 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 like everything we're saying, it's a practice. Like even the intuition.
yes.
If you haven't been listening to your body, if you haven't been listening to intuition, or you don't even know what that is, that's something that requires practice as well. So, I mean, also tapping, like, why does my body feel this way? Just kind of like take a moment. And sometimes people just say, I don't have the moment, but
Yeah, you
really,
do.
like, but you have time for, but wait a minute, but you have time for all the thoughts that are coming, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to just also understand that your body's messages and your intuitions, they come from the body and from the heart, not from here.
I
Truly not from
actually
here.
I made a post yesterday on Facebook and I just said, the body doesn't speak English. It speaks in symptoms. And that's the thing is people, you're trying to have two different languages when you're making decisions, when you're talking to your body, whatever, right? Like you've got the mind chatter that's going on and all these thoughts of, can I analyze this situation? And sometimes you can, but that's the problem. People that are overly analytical get into trouble because they're not tapping into their intuition, which is the higher self. And those are always going to be the better answers than, oh my gosh, I'm just going to write all this out. I've got a pros and cons list, and where's this going to take me? And that doesn't serve you. On top of that, a lot of people that are dealing with, I'm just going to go back to like chronic health issues, right? This is what puts the body in fight or flight when you can't shut the mind off. Like it's nervous system overdrive because you've got all of these thoughts, like you said, an insane amount every day. We already know from research, most of those are negative thoughts, they're not positive thoughts. And then you're already in that negative spiral. You're trying to analyze, well, what's my next best step? And oh, why am I not feeling good? Should I do this lab or take this supplement? Let me get on Google. Let me hire another practitioner. And you've got this false sense of control of like, no, I'm doing something. I'm really doing something for my health. Let's be real. We have no control. That should be a whole episode. We have no control over anything in our lives. I'm sorry to tell you guys that, but we don't.
And you got to start practicing all this, right? I
Yeah.
am going to give an example about something that happened with me recently, and I totally ignored my body. Totally ignored my body. I'm not going to go into the details, but anyway, so I was in a situation where my body was telling me, get out of the situation, get out of the situation several times. And what did I do? I betrayed myself and I used my analytical brain. Oh no, no, no. What could happen? This and big shit happened that I had to deal with for a good few weeks. I mean, thank God it was resolved. Hopefully, I haven't heard about it anymore. But I mean, it was a big shit. Something that I would never have imagined going through after all these years. Being 46, and I mean, it was. Ugh. But that's because and after that incident, it showed me that don't you dare. And I even like was like, once your body like is going, get
Mm,
out of that situation. And I try to teach that to my child, to my children, like don't get in the car if your body's going like,
yep.
don't get in the car, don't go to that party, because your body remembers. Your body has way more wisdom than your analytical mind, right? The analytical mind is the brain is there to help you survive, right? However, we're not running after tigers, or tigers are not running after us nowadays, right? So it's and the mind doesn't understand and doesn't differentiate between like you running for your life from an animal or
Mhm.
whatever, and a stressful event. So that's why it's really important to, in order to stop the thinking or be more peaceful, it's really important to start training your body, right? Understanding, like even spending a few minutes, kind of like, where do I feel this? Like, what is happening? Sometimes when I get like a little bit in my like anxiety or something, and I start taking deep breaths, like where this is coming from, or I
Mhm.
just kind of like calm myself down and say, I am safe or whatever, because that could be a thought that was just triggered and I didn't realize what it is. But now I'm trying to feel it more into my body versus analyzing it here, because you are going to find the reasons, you are going to find the excuses, you are going to find everything in the book to betray your body,
Yeah. Which goes back to
to
last week's
convince your
episode,
body.
by the guys.
Yeah, yeah. Truly, truly. So
Yeah.
it's all a practice, and we're not going to stop the thinking, but we're going to not engage with it. Kind of like, like a conversation with a friend, right? Like
Hmm.
someone you're talking to and they drain your energy. You don't want to talk to them, right? But you want to, like, don't engage in that conversation in here that's really not serving you, because all it's doing sometimes it's fueling the ego. But if you
Yeah.
come into the heart, you come into your body, you're going to let go of that ego, because the heart holds the true soul that we are, the love, because deep down we are love and unconditional love. It's just the facade and the mask that we put on the outside. And everything that we're saying requires practice. Nothing comes without practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say is sometimes making those hard decisions, right? Because I know there's probably people listening who are like, okay, but what I have a decision to make, or I need to decide on something, whatever. I need to think it through. Okay, that's what we always hear people. Let me think on it. Let me think on it overnight. Or let me talk to so and so. Let me write out a pros and cons list. Sometimes the best answers come in that silence when we stop thinking about it. And I know you gave an example of something else of not engaging with thoughts, but I want to give an example. I don't think I've shared this on the podcast. So we lived in Las Vegas, and my husband woke up one night and was like, I think we're supposed to move. And I trusted his intuition on that. And we really thought we were going to go to Boise. Like, we loved Boise. We flew there, we visited, we fell in love. And we're like, yes, this feels amazing. But our house wasn't selling. Now, logically, I could have gone down a whole host of things. I could have written stuff down like we have a decision to make. What do we do about this? I did not get into my head. I said, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I trust. Like, I let go. I'm freeing the thoughts because I could go into so many different spirals about the house not selling. Maybe we're not supposed to go there. What about this? What? And same thing. I woke up one morning after not thinking about it and said to my husband, what if we're supposed to go to Austin and not Boise? And again, instead of sitting and making pros cons lists or really talking it through, we kind of trusted each other on this, but it was also, again, getting out of the thinking mind and tapping into the intuition and saying, it's going to come. It's going to come to us. And so that's when I said, you know what? If our house sells in the next 24 hours, like if we get an offer on the house, we're going to Austin. And guess what?
You're
we
Austin.
we had three offers come in 24 hours. No joke.
Yeah.
After sitting and not nothing. So, and then again, I could have gotten into that thinking mind of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for work? Where are we going to live? We just trusted. So, this is multiple lessons for you guys in one, right? It's a lesson in turning off the thoughts. It's a lesson in refocusing the mind if the thoughts aren't serving you. It's a lesson in trusting. It's a lesson of letting go. Like there's a lot in here to dissect, but it all goes back to the thoughts, the thinking.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, you said it like, silence. And another thing, if you're starting with this and you're starting to practice this, I get it. It could be difficult at the beginning. So I cannot reiterate the walking. So we're from just last week's episode, everything is walking. And I'm not saying, you know, I mean, even if you're just literally walk around, like, let's not make this hard, just walking around your neighborhood or walking around, outside at work, automatically the walking will like lower your thinking. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the thoughts, go away. But I don't know. I like, because I love the walk and talk, because I call it my walking meditation. So that could be also your meditation while you're walking. And it just kind of like calms down the analytical mind, because, it's really important to just tap into the body. Like, I cannot say that enough, especially if you're someone who has had their nervous system dysregulated for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of years, right? Or someone who's had trauma, or who's someone who's been through a lot. Your brain and your mind will definitely find all of the excuses in the world, but your body is has way more wisdom than you give it. So just, and I'm not just saying like, okay, I'm going to talk about the symptoms and everything, and you mentioned the symptoms, but it's just like those, it's just this whisper sometimes coming from the body,
Yeah.
and just kind of like, and then just follow it, and get that inspired action.
And
But
that's one thing I want to say too is sometimes when people are like, I don't know how to listen, your body's not literally going to say something to you. No one came down from the heavens and said, move to Austin to me. Just like I don't think anyone came down and told you what to do. It doesn't work like that. Like my body didn't suddenly say, like, you have a headache because you're dehydrated. You're just shutting down some of those thoughts. You know what I mean? That the more you can do that and the more you can get into this practice, and like Denise said, I love walking. I love being in nature. I don't care what you guys pick. Find something that works for you that calms that mind chatter down. But the more you can do that, the more your intuition will strengthen. So if you're someone right now who's like, I don't know, I don't hear any signs from anything, like I don't, my body's not talking to me, nothing, give it time. Keep following this practice, and eventually you're going to start to hear some of those whispers come back that you've just kind of tuned out. You got to tune
right,
into the
right.
right radio station.
Exactly, tune to the right radio station, and it's just also the breath, the
Mm.
breathing, anything, or the slowing down, the no rushing. Yesterday, I saw a quick little video about some old Italian men like saying about like the no hurrying, the no rushing. Everybody's rushing and hurrying, and we want to get here and get there, but it's really important to. I mean, we're giving you the tools, but at the end of the day, like you said, you are it.
Yeah.
You are the miracle. You are your own savior. No one is going to come and tell you, okay, this, whatever. And then also there's the acceptance of I am where I am at this right place at the divine timing, whatever you want to call it. Collapsing time. We're going to talk about that later, some other time. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, everything does require practice. So did we talk about why we're addicted to thinking though? Because let's,
Yeah, the
let's kind of
nervous
give,
system.
yeah.
That's a big piece, and the sense of control that we don't have control.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like it's just exactly we want to just grab that control, and we
Yeah.
just want to keep going and going and going, and one thought justifies the other and the other and the
Hmm.
other, and the next thing you know it, we're addicted to that
Yep.
loop. I don't know if you have people in your life that constantly say, "I'm constantly thinking, my brain doesn't shut down." Well,
Yeah.
that's not a good quality, my friend.
It's not.
That is not a good quality. Like when someone tells me like, "Oh, my brain doesn't shut down, I'm constantly thinking," I'm like,
Got to work on that.
Especially also remember, that's why sometimes people, a lot of people wake up with anxiety, wake up with negativity, and wake up with like depression. Why? Because you are waking up with the thoughts you're having the previous day. So if you're not taking also time at night to, have this quick nighttime routine where you are, speaking positively to yourself, or you are doing some breath work and getting into the present moment, you are going to wake up with the thoughts you slept with, right? Or for example, someone, falling asleep on the couch watching, whether crime shows or like the news or something. I mean, guess what? You are going to wake up, with all with the anxiety because you slept with the news from the day before, and it ain't good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. We're nearing the end. What is some action steps that we want to talk about?
I mean, again, it's the same thing I always tell my clients, find something that works for you, right? I love walking, you love walking. I've been walking now for a while. Maybe you're not a walker, or maybe it's hot as hell and you don't want to go outside. That's okay. But find something that allows you to quiet the mind and find something, like Denise said, that brings you into the present moment. And the easiest thing you have for that are your senses. Meaning, even if you say 2 minutes, I can commit to 2 minutes every single day to be present. You can sit and stare at the wall. That's being present. Look at the colors, feel the wall, get the texture. What do you smell? What do you hear around you? That's it. 2 minutes, you're
Or
present.
Or it can be doing when you're doing your chore. Like if you're
Exactly.
washing the dishes. So if you don't want to sit, like I get it, like you're very busy. It could be through washing the dishes,
Hmm.
feeling the
Brushing your
water, feeling
teeth,
this and
combing your
brushing your
hair.
teeth. Exactly. It could be through all of the daily activities,
Mhm.
committing to like instead of while you're brushing your teeth, instead of thinking of the 500 things you have to do, just slow yourself down and like exactly feel the motions, like, oh, I'm brushing my teeth now. I feel the water. The water,
Yeah.
great. That's,
It
or
sounds
another,
cheesy, but it works.
it
It's
does
gonna
work.
calm things.
But that's not another thing. Yes, cheesy, but that's
Yep.
practice, right? Or it could be the breath, right? If someone's like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," I don't want to enjoy my washing the dishes and doing laundry, you can also commit to 2 minutes or 3 minutes of deep breathing, getting into
Mhm.
your heart, holding like Kira and I always, always, always before we start the podcast, we put our hand on our heart and we do a hand on our belly and we do a few deep breaths. Because what are we teaching our body? What do we tell our body? You are safe. We're here for
Mhm.
you, right? So because that's our body is the most, it's our vehicle, it's what's carrying us throughout our lifetime. So it's really important to also remind it that, yo, I'm here for you. I'm going to slow you down. So just discover what works for you, but we're giving you the easiest tools because guess what? You and I are super busy
Yeah.
as well.
Gotta
So
be simple stuff.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Share this
guys.
episode.
Now go shut your mind up.
I know. Shut it. Don't collapse time.
Go quiet the mind. But yeah, thank you guys. As always, we appreciate feedback and comments on our Instagram and reviews and sharing it with a friend and all the things.
Yes, please share this episode at least with a friend who might need it, or
Yeah,
who, if someone tells you all the time, I'm thinking all the time, maybe they could
mhm,
benefit from this. So,
for
thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the next episode.